What's up guys, welcome back to Team Neutralix. I'm your host lxuliy, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you who you should play based on your playstyle in Brawlhalla. If this video ends up helping you, please consider liking and subscribe to the channel, as Neutralix here has an entire library full of content to help you improve. And if you want any personal coaching from either me or any of the coaches on Neutralix, then check out the link down below.
If you want to improve at Brawlhalla as quick as possible, I'd really recommend subscribing to Team Neutralix's Brawlhalla class. For only $4.99 a month, you get access to a private class hosted by Neutralix pros, creators, and coaches through our Discord. You also gain access to all previous lectures if you just go to our website under the members tab. A big problem with improving at video games through YouTube videos is that YouTube really rewards a certain kind of video, where this membership allows us to host classes on any topic and really tell you guys the real stuff to improve at Brawlhalla. For more information on our Brawlhalla class, go to teamneutralix.com or just click the link down below.
Okay, so to start off, if you want to play an aggressive playstyle, then I would recommend playing either Koji, Teska, or Hatatori. All these legends are super good in that they can just sort of run in at your opponent, and you're usually pretty safe with your weapons. For example, on Koji, because of his dex, right, you're able to play bow in a super fast way. You kind of just fall around your opponent and then constantly fall up. Even there, you saw like I missed a D-Sig, instantly fall up into a side light, right? So he couldn't even punch me there. And you can do this with basically any single move. Like you see there, I do Sair, Nair, miss both of them, and go into Sair. Like I constantly just can follow my opponent, and I'm usually pretty safe. Like even there, ground pound into Sair, right? So you can play super fast with these legends. You sort of just run in constantly, and even if you mess up, you're usually going to be fine. And then the Sigs too are also really good. On Koji, obviously you have N-Sig and Side Sig, which are really good follow-ups. D-Sig obviously is really good after side light, like if they dodge in or anything. And then with Teska here, you have like side Sigs on both weapons, which just literally run in at your opponent. You have D-Sigs where they're off stage, and N-Sig to grab them and send them straight down, right? You also have Gauntlets here, which is a super big string weapon, right? You can sort of just kind of run in with it. You have side light stuff, and you're able to kind of just string a lot off of it. You also have like nairs and stuff to cover in the air. Recovery is really strong and stuff like that. And you sort of just string really heavy. It's one of the best weapons off stage too. So like if you want to run off stage, like you can do that. You're fine to do that. As for Hatatori, obviously she's a super fast legend. She's one of the fastest legends in the game. She has sword and spear, which are just really good. They all kind of follow up and they control a lot of area. Like you can just sort of see where I'm just doing D-lights there, and light coverage, Nair there to cover in the air. Like I just have so much coverage over my opponent that I sort of just chase them around, follow them, and they can't really do much because they can't get close to me because obviously I just follow up really well. And then also like you have spear as well for like these poking options and stuff like that. Her Sigs are also really good to catch off opponents. So overall, Hatatori is also really good for if you want an aggressive playstyle. So if you want a more basic legend, and what I mean by that is that they have like 5, 5, 5, 5 on every stat, and that their weapons are also pretty simple. There's nothing like too crazy on the weapons you have to learn, and also they have just really good Sigs that are like pretty easy to understand. Then I would recommend playing Bodvar, Azuri, or Orion. In Bodvar's case, he's literally the face of Brawlhalla. Like he's as basic as you can get. His stats are just 5 basically everywhere. His Sigs are also really good. They also have their own purpose. Side Sig, you know, hits to the side. N-Sig is just this big bear that hits up. D-Sig's really good for catching people. On Sword, you have Side Sig, which just covers the entire side. N-Sig also just covers the air. And the D-Sig's really good for just spiking downwards on the edge. So you have all these, and also the weapons themselves, like on Hammer and Sword, a lot of them share the same true combos, like D-Light Sair, D-Light Dare, D-Light Recovery. All of them are basically just the same combo, so he's really easy to learn. In Azuri here, you have Sword, which obviously, like I said, is really easy to have control, a lot of space, and so learning her is really good. You're gonna not really struggle too much in neutral with her. Her Sigs are also pretty simple, like Side Sig, D-Sig cover basically the areas you expect them to. N-Sig covers right above. Sword N-Sig's a bit weird in that it kind of sends them down. Like it's not an N-Sig that hits the air, it's the N-Sig that hits basically below you, but that's pretty easy to get used to, and like once you see the Sig, you'll be like, oh well, I understand how that works. N-Sig on guitars obviously is known for just how much it sends downwards. Like you just kind of spike them, kind of like a slam dunk, I guess is the best way to say it. Side Sig and D-Sig both just cover right in front of you. And also the weapons are pretty simple. Guitars you're never going to struggle if you have Nair and stuff like that. You can also learn how to like string up the weapons too, so more fundamentals to learn. As Orion here, he's also really simple. You just have Spear, which obviously simple strings, everything kind of flows together really easy. Lance here, you kind of just cover a huge area, you have a lot of priority. It's really hard to counter if you don't know what you're doing, right? And also overall his Sigs are absolutely insane. Like here, I can N-Sig here as a follow-up and that kills. So if you want to play a very flashy type of playstyle, then I would recommend Artemis, Mordex, and Jiro. And you kind of see the pattern in that a lot of these legends are either super fast or they have Scythe. All these legends are very string heavy. You can go for a lot of cool things. All the faults are pretty easy to learn. Everything sort of flows together. Like on Lance, obviously, you can pretty much figure out that like after Dare, you have side light, D lights, in lights, jump stairs for covering the air. All of it flows together. On Artemis, especially, you have Sigs like that. The side Sig just covers a huge area, and they all look really nice. Like, the legend looks amazing. She looks flashy. She's fast, and she has a lot of string potential. On Mordex here, obviously, the basically second face of Brawlhalla, if I had to guess. Like, a lot of people probably know Mordex more than they know about Bodvar because of Sandstorm. Just another big string heavy. You have Scythe and Gauntlets, which obviously Gauntlets is really good for off stage. Scythe is really good on stage, right? They both have very heavy string potential. They both also work both on stage and off stage pretty well together. Everything sort of strings together. Like I said, the Sigs are absolutely amazing on Mordex. Like, the Sig kit is basically the best you can get. I mean, look at this Sig. That's insane. It just covers a good area, and it's really good for string potential afterwards. Like, you can string into those Sigs. Also, just once again, like, 2 string weapons. Jiro here is very high dex, and you can do a lot on him on Scythe. He's very flashy, and that like he can do a lot of cool things that a lot of other like legends can't. You also have Sword, which I know doesn't really seem like the flashiest weapon, but you can make it flashy. Trust me, there's a lot of things on Sword you can do to make it flashy. It's very fast, like I said. You have a lot of control, and if you just kind of figure out how to like sort of string with it, you know, you're gonna be good. You also just have a lot of like funny combos and stuff, so if you want to just look flashy with like your knowledge on Sword, you can do a bunch of just niche combos and stuff like that, and sort of just catch your opponent off guard. I've seen it happen, and it is quite interesting to watch. The Sigs aren't really the best, but they all kind of serve a purpose too. Like in Sig, side Sig, D Sig's really good. It looks really flashy with the chains, and then on Sword obviously is kind of the same thing. The next up, if you want to play a zoner type character, and what I mean by zoning is sort of just kind of staying more back and poking your opponent around, then I would recommend Yumiko, Arcadia, and Ada. So with Yumiko and Arcadia, they have very specific Sigs. Like as you see, I'm just kind of spamming D-Sig here, that just cover a huge area, cover around, you can move around during it. And also what's funny is that a lot of them lead into true combos. Like you're seeing me doing like Sair and Inlight and Recovery. They all are true, and I mean, you just cover that huge area, by the way. You can just see me, I'm constantly covering this weapon spawn, and even after that D-Sig, I go into recovery. Like, I can just control so much. And even here, you kind of see I'm doing like a little dash deck you can do, so you can move around really fast if you want to. And all these legends are like super good at just kind of playing more zoney, staying more back if you want. And also like the Sigs also very much complement, especially on Yumiko, because like I said, D-Sig covers basically just a huge area. You cover an area, you can move around during it. Side Sig's really good for just running into your opponent who's really far from you. In Sig's good for catching him in the air. And you also just have a lot of like fun things you can learn. Like she can be very techy if you want, and you can kind of learn stuff like, you know, how to get a free kill on certain maps, or you can learn like just a bunch of random true combos after D-Sig. She's very interesting for Brawlhalla because there's not really like many zoner characters in Brawl, and so having one is just like, it's really weird because it's not something you're going to be used to seeing a lot, right? So playing this playstyle is really fun. She's also really fast, she feels really smooth, and so yeah, that makes her a really good legend. As for Arcadia, she's very similar in that aspect, in that she has basically similar Sigs. Her side Sig on Greatsword is literally just something you throw at. It's a projectile. Side Sig's really good for just kind of running in. D-Sig, like I said, is very similar to Yumiko D-Sig. You just can't move during it, but once again, you just cover a huge area. You're kind of in the air. It's hard to punish. N-Sig's good for catching people in the air too. It's very similar to the Yumiko N-Sig, just maybe slightly worse. And then obviously you have weapons that are really good for poking. Like Greatsword has a lot of priority on the ground. Look at that side Sig, by the way. And then obviously Spear is a really good poking tool. As for Ada, she has blasters and spear, which are also really good for just poking tools. So you have long range moves, you have stuff that kind of is right in front of you, and that side Sig's really nice. N6 sends you straight in the air. D6's really good for just covering a huge area. She's kind of more of like a new, like not new legend, she's more of an older legend, so like her Sigs look really weird, especially compared to like modern day Brawlhalla, which is kind of funny. Like that N-Sig is really interesting, the D-Sig especially is really interesting. Her spear kit's also really good. Like you have N-Sig, which is really good for in the air, you have D-Sig, which is interesting move because it kind of sends you forward, so like it's not like I guess Orion D-Sig where you're staying still, you actually move forward with it. And then side sig obviously is really good for like catching basically a lot of dodges. Like, it is a super good sig. And obviously because you have these poking tools, you can kind of just walk away. You have Sarah and all that, and there's that D sig where it kind of moves you forward, and then there's side sig, which that killed. And yeah, I mean, the sigs are really good, the ledge is really good. You have two weapons, like I said, that play very zoney. Like, you don't need to be like rushing in, you can kind of just sit back and poke your opponent a ton. Like, even there, like, I miss a Nair, poke them with Inlight, now they're far away, I set up for D-Light, stuff like that you can kind of do, and you can just kind of keep doing that. You can also follow up with Sarah. Nair is really good on Spear to just kind of go in and attack, like if you want to like ultra aggress, and then obviously Inlight's really good for your opponent's aggressing you and you want to sort of push them back, right? So yeah, poking tool there. You can try to follow up with like side sig is a really good string usually, especially if they're like spot dodging. And sig, like I said, it's pretty insane. The hitbox is insane. So the last playstyle I want to talk about is a tanky build. So by tanking, I mean you go in, you build up a lot of damage, you kill pretty easily, and you have a ton of defense. And obviously, the first one is going to be Teros. That's pretty obvious. I mean, he is literally the most tankiest legend in Brawlhalla. Tons of defense and tons of strength. The other two are going to be Ulgrim and Barraza. So, Teros, obviously, his sigs are absolutely insane. His weapons are very slow and heavy feeling, right? He's a very tanky, he can take a lot of damage, he can deal a lot of damage, he can kill you super early, right? And so overall, he's going to be really good. As for Ulgrim, he's a bit struggling with killing. It's not as easy to kill on him, but his sigs are also really good. Like, in-sig on Lance is really good, side sig's really good, D-sig's really good for covering an area. D-sig on Axe is very much used a lot, right? It covers a huge area. In-sig on Axe is also really good too. It was especially good in 2v2. Like, if you want to play this legend in 2s, that is super good legend to play in 2s. But overall, Lance, like I said, has a lot of control when I was talking about Orion, so like you can cover a huge area with Lance. You have Axe, which is also really good. His stats, obviously, high strength, high defense, right? Lower speed, but also not even that low speed. Like, he's actually pretty much base speed. The only thing really low on him is Dex, but like Dex does not matter on these weapons. You can basically have fun doing whatever you want. Also, D-sig just covered a huge area. As for Barraza, he has a ton of defense, ton of strength. He has Axe, he has blasters, so pretty good. There's heavy string potential on him because he has blasters. Like, you can string into a lot of things. Building up damage on super easy. His sigs are kind of cool, and that they're all kind of like these like flaming sigs. I kind of send them everywhere, right? A lot of them kill really early actually, and you know, if you want a sort of big tanky legend, I actually highly recommend him because he's like this Mad Max character, so also going to be really good. Anyways, I hope this video helped you, and if you found a new main with this video, let us know in the comments down below.